Hey guys, this is Coach Tanya Smith of TanyaSmithOnline.com, where we help independent service providers to leverage the internet to build profitably productive businesses. So today I want to talk a little bit about some alternatives that you can use to PowerPoint when it comes to your online or offline presentations. Now, all of us have gotten pretty familiar and comfortable using PowerPoint, and honestly, it's still a great tool. I have no ill will against PowerPoint or Microsoft in any way because this has a lot of different effects that you can use. It's a great way to build and establish a visual presentation. Of course, nowadays, the way that you actually design that presentation is a little bit different than what we used to be with all of the verbosity. So many text, bullets, and all those other things. A lot of that has kind of fallen by the wayside for more visual and more graphic images in your PowerPoints and in your presentations. But I want to show you 3 alternatives now that you can use so that you have more in your toolkit when you are preparing a presentation, whether it be for a speaking event or if it is for something that you're doing online like a webinar or a virtual presentation, as I often do. There are 3 in particular that I'm going to highlight today. There are more, I'm sure, out there, but these are my 3 favorites. So the first alternative for you is going to be Prezi, P-R-E-Z-I. And what I want to share with you about Prezi is that it has a really kind of neat interface, and it's very easy to learn how to use because actually when you create a new Prezi, it will give you ideas in terms of templates that you can use. And I'll show you in a few minutes a little bit how this works. But the gist of it is that when you use Prezi, which by the way, you can open up a free account with Prezi, what you'll find is that you have the opportunity to kind of move your screen around. So notice here, as you see the various templates that are available, look, even a workflow template. Ooh, I have to explore that. When you notice the different templates that are available, you just pick one and then you start entering your information. So I'm going to show you in just a second one that I already have created just for purposes of this particular slide. All right, so some time ago I created this kind of a roadmap using one of the available Prezi templates. And watch what ends up happening when it plays. This is pretty cool. So when I go to step 1, let's go ahead and allow. When I go to step 1, it's going to focus and highlight. And look at that. What it does is it zooms in, notice, based on the order in which you've actually recorded your information and you can set a particular sequence for the information that you're trying to display. Now, how cool is that? Okay, so that's one. That's Prezi, and again, Prezi.com. And as I mentioned, there is a free account. I believe that there might be an upgrade available as well, but basically, I've done a lot with just the free account. And I think that with the paid account, you actually have the opportunity to make more private Prezis. So, for example, if you want to limit them to a particular group versus having them available on their public library. All right, so that's one. Now, the second one I'm going to show you is actually an iPad application, and it's a free, hey, free is for me, free iPad app, and it is wonderful as a presentation software. It's similar in some ways to PowerPoint, but it gives you additional flexibility because remember I just talked about the idea of having more visual content, pitching your ideas with more concise bullets and information. This is a really cool app. And it's very easy to use, and they have a little video here. If you go to hikudeck.com, they have a little video here that you can actually view. Let me put it in full screen again here. And basically, you're just going to come up with specific ideas, add images. Now, one of the key things about images these days is that you really have to be careful because there are copyright infringement exposures for you, especially as a business owner. If you're doing this for business, which I'm assuming you are if you're watching this video, and if you are, you have to be very careful. And so what they do, which you'll find to be very interesting, let me go ahead and sign in real quick so you can view mine. What you'll find is that they actually add the specific attribution that needs to be given for those who own the image. So here's my gallery in HikuDeck. And basically when you create your presentation on your iPad. You're then going to share it so that it'll be available to the Haiku Deck desktop. Now, personally, I have actually done a presentation, and I tend to do these nowadays anyway. I do more presentations directly from my iPad by using an adapter that can connect to the projector when I'm out in public. That way I don't have to lug my big laptop around. But if you're going to use your laptop, what you can do is basically share the Haiku Deck or presentation to your Haiku Deck gallery, which means it's going to show up here on the haikudeck.com site. They have a public gallery, but you also now have the capability, because when I first started this, they didn't have it, but now you have the capability of actually making your presentations private. Now, I have shared a few, one of which has been actually highlighted by Haiku Deck. It's this How to Conduct Successful Webinars. And this was a presentation that I gave at a Chamber of Commerce. Now, watch what's really cool about this. If you go into the Haiku Deck, on the desktop or laptop, you have the ability to be able to actually add notes so that when people view it, they will preview, they'll see your notes. And that's pretty awesome. They can even download it or share it depending on how you've set it up. Let me show you, let me see if I can find one that actually has some notes on it. That's me right there with my little one. Let's see, 10 steps. Basically, what you have the ability to do is to be able to add your notes right here. I thought this one had notes, but I may have it on a different one where I've got specific notes. But the really cool thing about that is when people actually view it, and let me see if I can go out to another one that's back here. When you go out to view it, they can see your entire presentation plus the notes that you've left for them. So it's kind of like almost like it's sort of like SlideShare, if you're familiar with that. But you can also read along. So if there's specific notes you want to pinpoint in addition to the images, that's available too. And I really love that concept. Notice how these pictures, and I want to see if I can blow this up a little bit, but I want you to notice these pictures are not pictures that I own. And I'm trying to get you to the place where there is an indicator here. And let's see if I can find that. Wow. Where it actually has the image credit. Okay. And there you go. Okay. You can pull it up there, but also if you import these slides into your PowerPoint deck, which you have the ability to actually transfer this over to your favorite PowerPoint tool, if that's what you prefer to use. When you do that, the image credits that you see popping up here actually show up at the bottom of each of the images so that you are properly giving attribution to those who created the image or uploaded the image to be used. Okay. And in the iPad app, what you'll find is that you can type in keywords. So for example, let's say you're looking up something to do with crowds or people or machines or whatever it is. When you look up those keywords, it will give you proposed images that you can use. So for example, look, promote event or communicate. I pulled up this little handy image that has a note with a heart on it because I thought that was cool. It was a good fit. But you can find all kinds of images, and all of them will have the proper attribution without you having to look that up or click too many buttons. Okay, and that's the key. It's all about efficiency, right? So the next one I'm going to show you is called the brain. Now, many of you are probably not familiar with the brain. The brain is a very cool it's like a mind mapping program on steroids. I'll say that, okay? So you probably have gotten more and more familiar with mind mapping because so many people are using them these days, whether it's in their info products or in classes. Like Bob Jenkins has a really great monetized action plan mapping program that he does, and you have to check that out. But the mind mapping program is, again, one that's bigger and better and probably a lot more holistic than what you're normally used to. In the brain, what you can do is basically attach documents and information, any type of links that might be related to your particular presentation. I'm going to show you really quickly how mine looks because I'm going to actually use a particular document. This is my brain that's been stored in the cloud. They have a cloud available. And I want you to see how this can look, okay? I'm working on this presentation right now, and when I deliver it, what's really neat about it is I'll have the ability to be able to click on various parts of this brain, okay, and show, for example, look at that Word document right there. I can hyperlink directly to the various links. So let me give you an idea of how this might work. So in one segment, I'm going to be talking about how to evaluate your personal brand online. So what I've done is connected various hyperlinks, okay, to be able to quickly get to. So as I'm speaking about segment 1 and talking about how to evaluate my brand online, what I end up seeing is Google Alerts, and I'm going to take them to this page by simply clicking on the brain link. Okay, and so what it did is basically it took me to the Google Alerts page where I can then go ahead and do kind of an on-screen share of the information that I'm typing in and how to do it, right? And creating an alert and all that other stuff. So that's pretty cool. Another thing that this allows you to do, and what I've done is I've actually switched over to a different view of this so that you can kind of see this on my desktop, is you can actually plug in photos. So look, when I go to my bio and I'm talking about me and sharing a little bit about myself, then I can talk about, look, my family, and I can say, see, here's a picture of my family, blah, 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 right? And tell them a little bit about them and how long we've been in Texas and etc. I can talk about my blog and share what I do there and click on it at the same time, and it's going to take them to the actual blog where I write my information. So, I mean, it got a lot of capabilities here. I'm still playing around a bit with this, but I think this is a wonderful opportunity for you to use another alternative to PowerPoint when sharing your information. Now, here's another really handy thing. It also has the capability of sharing notes or Word documents. So watch this. When I click on this, you know, our class objectives, if there's something specific there or notes that I want them to know about, then what can happen is I will open up the actual Word document right there from inside the brain. That is pretty awesome. So it's going to open up that document that I'm looking at so that everyone can see that information. Again, imagine the possibilities of this when you're using it either for a webinar or for your presentation live. Now, the key is that you have to or need to be connected to the internet if you're going to be using information that is shared on a cloud or shared through the internet through some type of Wi-Fi connection, okay? So make sure that you know that. The other thing that you want to know about the brain is that this is not free, okay? Not by any means. In fact, there's a pretty hefty price tag on the brain, but the way it works is you have a price tag for purchasing the brain software to download to your system, and if you want the ability to be able to use the cloud services, there's another annual fee that you pay to use that. But again, depending on what your company does and the possibilities that you see for your business, this could be a really, really great alternative to a regular old PowerPoint. Okay, so that's it. Just a review again. What we're talking about today are 3 alternatives that you can use to in place of your PowerPoint for giving presentations. And so we reviewed Prezi at Prezi.com. We also talked about the brain. That was the last one we reviewed. And the other one that we talked about was Haiku Deck at haikudeck.com. Remember, that is an iPad application. By the way, if you need to know more information about iPad, I am going to, within the next few days, finally publish my new program over at udemy.com about how to use your iPad for business. And it's going to have a lot of tips on using certain types of applications for your business as an independent service provider, because there's so much capability that an iPad has for you to be able to do so many things. It's like your portable office. All right, well, that's it for today's post, our video post today. And I hope that you continue to visit at TanyaSmithOnline.com for more great resources to help you to leverage the internet to be a more profitably productive business. You can also find me on any of the social networks that you prefer at about.me/Tanya Smith. That's my social business card, and it'll link you to my YouTube, my Pinterest, my anything that you might be using. I'm probably using it right now too. So go and get social with me on your favorite social network of choice. All right, take care and have a great week.